help but wondering. Every time Petey Piranha in the last video ran into that finish gate, was the wind knocked out of him? Hey everybody, I'm Brendan, and the Super Tournament is back. B-Dasher and, well, seems like it's just a pipe there in the sports coupe. I'm not sure what kind of control he could muster, but if he's even the right pronoun, he's out there racing against Donkey Kong. Also, now that I mention it, did get a nice comment in the last video, bringing the truth, 8.47 on the first time, that the Piranha Plant is not necessarily Petey Piranha himself, but more just an average Piranha Plant. Baby Mario and Peach here going at it. And they made the distinction that Petey Piranha does not sit in a pot. Petey Piranha is a free-flowing creature that can walk around on two legs. But, no matter, they look pretty similar to me. Baby Mario screaming across in the B-Dasher 8.49. Just 0.202 shy of that first time, but he will move on. Mario in the Wild Wing, Waluigi in the B-Dasher. Waluigi and Wild Wing. Lots of W's out there. And this time, who will take the W, though? We'll see in a second. Close race, though. Wild Wing starting to fall behind a couple of lengths. Let's get to that turn, and the Wild Wing slips down yet a couple more. B-Dasher has been a very fast car overall today, no matter the character in it. That's 2 wins for a B-Dasher. 8.72. Blue Yoshi in the sneaker there with Bowser Jr. And I remember the sneaker being, well, especially in singular lane racing, a really tough vehicle to manage. Not very fast. And you can see that kind of out here. Even a standard car besting it right now by 4, even 5 lengths and 6, and Yoshi with an 8.7. And it seems like none of the other racers, none of the other characters that we have today, Red Yoshi and Bowser Jr. getting going, are tall enough to run into that finish gate and hit the foreheads on the top. Just a Piranha Plant problem. Bowser Jr. on the near side here on the inside line and screams past the bad wagon, and he's going to have it by a new record there, 8.44. That might be the fastest we've seen over the 2 videos, definitely in this one. And if you thought a pipe was weird, what about an egg? And for an egg, quite a good acceleration out of the gate. I didn't know eggs had that capability. And right now, holding out by a few lengths, Mario's gonna fight his way back in, try to not lose to an egg-shaped racer, and maybe on the far side, no acceleration to the end. 9.06 though, so a slow egg, if any egg. But he'll move on. Peach in the sneaker, Bowser Jr. in the sports coupe. I guess when you race in things as absurd as sneakers, putting an egg in one of them shouldn't be too much of a jolt. Peach in the sneaker, far side there, up by a length. Bowser Jr. screaming back into the lead, up by a length now. 2 on the inside line, takes over. Big lead for Bowser Jr. An easy finish right there, 8.7. Cappy, Wario in the sports coupe. Cappy, for those of you who don't understand Cappy, Cappy comes from that recent game Super Mario Odyssey where, well, Mario's cap comes alive, and that's really the whole trope of the game. So if you haven't played it, well, take a look. It's pretty amazing. And Cappy amazing there in the B-Dasher, 8.67, not a terrible time, and quite a strong finish going up against an actual human being. Though that is debatable based on some game theories I've seen on the Mario universe. The cap, the Animate's cap, will take that one by a length. Bowed Wagon and the B-Dasher. Bowser Jr. and Donkey Kong. Oh, big jump out of the gate by Donkey Kong. And now I'm remembering that Donkey Kong, that first race, was also in a B-Dasher, so B-Dashers all across the board have been winning. Down by a few lengths, so gets inside line right here. Here we go around the inside line. They're back to even for a second. No, Bowser Jr. Bad Wagon, 8.39, and I think that might be the best time. I feel like we might have seen an 8.37 last video, but I can't confirm that for sure. B-Dasher, Sports Coupe. We're going to see a lot of B-Dashers here in this second round. Sports Coupe there on the far side, B-Dasher here on the near side. Big travel up the hill, and it's still the B-Dasher in the lead, but he has to deal with an outside line here, and Bowser Jr. starting to make up ground, and we're back to even. Here's the inside line for Bowser Jr. Oh, he starts to spin, and the B-Dasher pushes by and into the lead in an 8.63. And while Luigi will keep the B-Dasher legacy alive, Cappy, Yoshi, Egg. Send two racers out there who don't even have any hands, and this is what you're gonna get. B-Dasher way out in front again. Sports Coupe struggling. Aerodynamics on an Egg are less than satisfactory, and I think that's why the result is what it is. 8.62 for the... Sometimes, guys, I try to hold it together, but I have to laugh at the Egg versus the animate Cap. I really do. But back to it. Baby Mario. Yoshi there on the far side, up by a few lengths. Around that outside line, Yoshi still holding on. Only a few lengths down, gets inside here. Over the hills they go, picking up speed as they do. Yoshi on the far side. Oh! Roadblock, spin around and loses the lead. 8.75. What was the thought process? He set himself on a self-created revolving door, not knocked away by any of the other racers, which would be only one. Baby Mario just... Maybe he had a thought, hesitated too long, but then lost all control. I don't know what happened. But what a tough way to lose. He had the win. Yoshi wasn't going anywhere fast, at least no faster than Baby Mario. Let's get back at it again. Bowser Jr. starting in the semifinals. Waluigi keeping up with him quite well, but down by a few lengths. That Badwagon is really bringing the heat. 8.49. And I'll tell you what, the Badwagon gets a bad rap, Yoshi and Cappy, for the semifinals here. But it has been really fast with that Bowser Jr. character. I don't know why it's been so much better, but in this case, it has really been a winner. B-Dasher, animate Cap, here we go. Cappy, up by a few lengths. Starting to close that lead, though, is that blue Yoshi in the standard cart. Let's see if he can get lucky at the end again. No, Cappy's not going for a ghost random, unstrategic roadblock, just throwing all the adjectives I can find at it, and he's going to stay straight. Yoshi tried to zigzag there at the end, but nothing doing. Let's take a look towards the finals. Who do we got? Winner will be the best time out of 3, so we really get to look towards that clock. Cappy and Bowser Jr., Badwagon, and Cap that can take over about any animate object, and inanimate objects, which is really exciting. But not so much right now for Cappy. Not very exciting, down so many lengths that, well, it really seems like no contest right now. 8.42, and Bowser Jr. still is yet to break his top time. Play a little Odyssey in my day. And I really did enjoy the fact that you can just throw the cap at basically anything and boom, you're inside of it. Here we go, Cappy looking for a better time than Bowser Jr. here. 8.42 is that number to beat. Cappy looking a little bit faster this time, but Bowser Jr. still with a strong takeover. He's out by a few lengths still, and there's just no chance. Bowser Jr. so fast. 8.62, not even that great actually, but good enough to stay in front of Cappy, and the time to beat is still 8.42. Let's race him again. Here we go. Oh, Bowser Jr., tough start out of the gate. Now down by a few lengths, but it seems like up the hills, the Badwagon has such the endurance, the strength, the power, maybe the horsepower to get up the hills and accelerate that extra lengths. Can he break his own time? And I think he will not. 8.39 being his best in the day. 4-2 here in the finals, and Bowser Jr., deservingly so, will be seen in the finals. He'll take up that second question mark block and leave things to be as we wrap up this one. Subscribe. Do not forget Diecast Racing TV doing the parallel tournament as we head towards the end of all these Mario Kart racers, and we'll see you next time on Races and Fun.